into a bar, cracks his head open, falls into a coma, and dies. So for my entire life, I've had this recurring dream because I suffer from narcolepsy. And when I was really young, I worked really hard on this dream, and I got into a good college. And I kept working hard in this college, and I was able to get a master's. So I was able to get a bachelor's in history by working towards fulfilling my dream. And after that, I was able to work for a master's in European history to get closer to fulfill my dream. And in a few short years, I shall have a PhD and fulfill my dream of being 35 years old, massively in debt, and completely unemployable. But important thing in life, as I've learned, is you gotta have friends. I've got a transgender friend. He's going through a big change in her life right now. Yes, I know. I thought it was pretty funny too. So, I ran into my friend Bill Thompson the other day, and right after we picked ourselves up from the ground, he said, "Shawn, I really want you to come to an orgy next week." I said, "An orgy? Well, I'd really like to go, but I'm worried I won't be able to come." Give it a second. So, a lot of the friends I managed to make, Dominic has become one of my friends recently. I managed to make friends with a lot of other Irish people. Got any Irish people in here? Alright. So, one of the things I've learned from a lot of Irish people is you get to learn a lot of Irish slang. Like what I call paper towels in America, what they call kitchen paper in Spain is called a kitchen roll in Ireland. And they've got a lot of other slang, like an apartment is called a gaff. But you gotta be careful what you learn from Irish people, because they love to play a joke on their friends. I learned the hard way that a traditional name for a pint is to blow me. Yeah, I didn't like hearing out of this ear either. What was that? So, I really like drugs. There's no punchline, I just figure we're in a club in Madrid, so somebody's gonna be holding. Yeah.
Is anybody holding?
We'll find out after the show. So, I really like to smoke marijuana. They say that it affects your short-term memory. What were we talking about? And cocaine. Cocaine can be fun. Yes, it can be. Millions of people are smuggling it for a reason. And I think cocaine can lead to a really good time, but it's kind of a lot like fucking without a condom. It feels so much better that evening, but you're going to pay for it in the long run. So, women. I try to meet women, and I was able to date a girl recently named Abigail, and it didn't work out well. She was a scientist who was really into kinky sex, and I still miss her, my little physicist. Somebody got that. Hey, if any of the ladies who got that are welcome to talk to me after the show. So, when she first met me, she was asking, like, do you know a lot about, kinky sex and BDSM? Like, no, she's like, you're so vanilla. I'm like, hey, just because I'm white, there's no reason to call me a mean name. Somebody got that. So she's like, oh, no, you don't understand. I'm into sexual submission. It's like, well, what does that mean? Well, I get really turned on sexually by submission. I'm like, okay. So I took her hand, I kissed it very gently, and then I twisted it behind her back and said, say uncle, say uncle. You can relax. She liked it. Or at least that's what I told her to say. So there was another time we're really going at it, and she's tied up, and she's like, yeah, she's really getting into it. She's like, Shawn, I want to take this to the next level. I'm like, okay, what do you want me to do? She's like, I want you to whip my back. I'm like, really? You want me to whip your back? Totally. So I ran down to the kitchen, got my favorite egg beater, and started whipping into her back like this. It turned out to be okay, because one of her other turns-on is homonyms. So after this, she's like, okay, Shawn, you really don't understand it. For this, I want to be able to fulfill your dirtiest, nastiest fantasy. I'm like, well, you see, I've got this really dirty, nasty shirt over there, and I've always had the fantasy of being a man with a clean shirt. So she took it, and she got really into cleaning, got really into the fantasy. It just, it didn't work out well. She ended up leaving me for the manager of a laundrette. So, when I was a young boy, my mother would always say to me, mostly things in English because it's the only language both of us spoke. She'd go to me, Shawn, the world is but a stage and we are only playing I just think that I have two siblings who really wish her favorite play hadn't been Medea. Yeah, I had a brother. His favorite play was Oedipus. Yeah, he was a real motherfucker. Yeah, we were never able to see eye to eye. And just to leave you folks, I wanted to leave you with a heartwarming story. Actually, my sister, she had a real Romeo and Juliet romance. Both she and her boyfriend committed suicide, and her families still hate each other. Thank you very much. I'm Shawn Barron.
Okay, so the next game we're going to play is going to involve all of us.